Today I am going to teach you parts of human digestive system and digestion process in different parts of human digestive system. Till last video I have covered the components of food, what is the function of different components of food, parts of alimentary canal, all those things we have already covered. Now today digestion process and parts of alimentary canal. So parts of human digestive system is comprised of following parts: mouth, then salivary glands, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine and anus. Remember cadets, pancreas, liver and salivary glands. They are digestive glands. They are helping in the digestion process. So now first and foremost question is, what do you mean by digestive system? Digestive system is nothing but a parts of alimentary canal along with the digestive glands. They are known as digestive system.
Mom, what's for dinner today? Wow, great! Oh my God! Every day I'm getting acidity and have burning sensation in the chest. Is there anything wrong with Mama's digestion? Is this condition associated with the digestive system? I need to find out.
The human digestive system consists of alimentary canal and the associated glands. The food we take passes through alimentary canal, which can be divided into various parts, which are buccal cavity or esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, ending in the rectum and anus. These parts together form the digestive tract. The alimentary canal begins with the mouth that leads to mouth cavity or buccal cavity. The buccal cavity consists of teeth, tongue, and salivary glands. Human beings have two sets of teeth in their lifetime. The first set of teeth grows during infancy and falls off at the age between 6 to 8 years. These are termed as milk or deciduous or temporary teeth. The second set that replaces the temporary teeth are the permanent or adult teeth. The permanent teeth are 32 in numbers and may last throughout life or fall off during old age. This type of dentition is called dipyodont. Permanent teeth are of 4 different types. These are incisors, canines, Hence, heterodont dentition is found in human beings. The arrangement of teeth in each half of the upper and lower jaw is represented by a general formula. In human, it is represented as 2, 1, 2, 3 by 2, 1, 2, 3. That is, 2 incisors, 1 canine, 2 premolars and 3 molars in each half of the upper jaw, and 2 incisors, 1 canine, 2 premolars and 3 molars in each half of the lower jaw. Each tooth consists of 2 parts, crown and root. The crown is part of tooth we see in our mouth. The root of the tooth is planted into the jawbone to keep the tooth steady while it is working. Each tooth is made up of 3 layers: enamel, dentine and pulp. Enamel is a hard protective outer layer covering the crown of the tooth. It helps in the mastication of food. Dentine is a second protective layer covering the nerve of the tooth. Pulp is the soft middle of the tooth that has the blood supply and nerve. Tongue is a fleshy muscular organ attached at the back to the floor of the mouth cavity. It is free at the front and can be moved in all directions. The upper portion of tongue has small projections called papillae. It has taste buds that sense different tastes of food.
But some of my teeth do not look so nice. They have some dark, hollow spaces also.
Dental cavities or dental caries is the most familiar disorder which we face in day-to-day life. Dental cavities are formed when sugar-containing food combines with the bacteria present in our mouth. These bacteria, after combining with sugars, produce acids. The bacteria form a layer called plaque, which begins to accumulate on the teeth after each meal. If the plaque is not removed regularly, tooth decay will take place. Cavity can be treated by removing the decayed part of the tooth. A drill device is used to remove the decay and prepare tooth for the filling with the appropriate material. Digestion is a complex process involving ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and ingestion. Food is taken into the body through the mouth. The process of taking food into the body is called ingestion. Digestion of carbohydrates like starch begins in buccal cavity. The buccal cavity helps in chewing and swallowing of food. Fluid called saliva is secreted by the salivary glands. Food is broken into smaller molecules and mixed thoroughly with saliva and moved around the mouth while chewing by the teeth and muscular tongue. Mucus in saliva lubricates and adheres the food particles into a bolus. The saliva contains an enzyme called salivary amylase that breaks down starch, which is a complex carbohydrate, to give sugar. The bolus then passes into the pharynx and then into the esophagus by swallowing. The bolus passes down through the esophagus by way of contractions called peristalsis. The bolus now enters the stomach. The walls of stomach have gastric glands which secrete enzymes, HCl and water. The various secretions by stomach cells chemically digest the bolus. Active pepsin converts proteins into proteoses and peptones. Food remains in the stomach for about 3 to 4 hours and changes into chyme. Chyme moves into small intestine. Small intestine is a coiled tube about 7 meters long. Food remains in the small intestine for about 3 to 5 hours for digestion and absorption. Upper part of small intestine is called duodenum. Duodenum is acted upon by secretion from 3 sources: liver, pancreas, and the intestinal glands. Liver is a reddish-brown, largest gland in the body, situated on the right side of the body below the chest region. Bile is the greenish-yellow fluid secreted by the liver. It is stored in the gallbladder. Pancreas is a large, whitish-colored gland situated behind the stomach. Its secretion consists of starch-digesting amylase, protein-digesting trypsin, and fat-digesting lipases. Duodenum receives secretion from the liver via gallbladder, that is, bile and pancreatic juice from the pancreas through a duct. Inner lining of small intestine contains glands which secrete the intestinal juice. Therefore, these juices consist of amylases, trypsin, and lipases. Amylase acts on starch, which remains undigested by the salivary amylase, converting it into maltose. Trypsin converts proteins into peptides, while lipase converts fats into fatty acids and glycerol. The semi-digested food thus formed enters the next part of small intestine, the ileum. In the ileum, the digestive process is completed. That is, peptides are converted into amino acids by the action of peptidases, and maltose is broken down into glucose by maltase. Absorption of substances takes place in different parts of the alimentary canal, but maximum absorption occurs in small intestine. Various nutrients like carbohydrates and proteins are absorbed by the walls of the small intestine. In order to increase the inner surface area for absorption of the digested food, inner lining of the small intestine contains a large number of tiny finger-like projections called villi. Each villus has a network of thin and small blood vessels close to its surface so as to pass the amino acids and glucose to the blood system and the fatty acids to lymph vessels. The undigested and unabsorbed substances are passed on to the large intestine. Large intestine is about 1.5 meters long and consists of 3 regions: the cecum, the colon, and the rectum. Cecum is a small blind pouch at the junction of the small and large intestines. The colon is much wider than the small intestine and is about 1 meter long. Rectum is a large part, about 15 centimeter long. It opens at the anus. Anus has a circular muscle wall to keep it closed. Relaxation of this muscle allows the anus to open in order to pass out the bowel. In the large intestine, absorption of some water, minerals, and certain drugs takes place. It also secretes mucus, which helps in adhering the waste particles together and lubricating it for an easy passage. The absorbed substances finally reach the tissues. This process is called assimilation. The undigested, unabsorbed substances called feces enters into the cecum of the large intestine through a valve which prevents the backflow of the fecal matter. It is temporarily stored in the rectum till defecation. The digestive wastes in the rectum initiate a neural reflex causing an urge for its removal. The fecal matter is removed through the anus from time to time. This is called egestion.
Yes, so dear cadets, you have already seen the digestion process in the video. Of course, it was long video, but I am trying hard to explain this one in a short way. Just see, as you know, the digestion of food starts from the mouth, or it is also called buccal cavity. As you know, in the mouth, basically two are very important structure. First one is tongue, second one is the teeth. So when we taking up food through mouth, this process is known as ingestion. Means ingestion of process of taking up food into mouth. What is ingestion? Ingestion is nothing but taking up food into mouth. Now the moment food enter into the mouth, now in our mouth two types of teeth are there. Temporary teeth and permanent teeth. Already you have seen in the video. Temporary teeth basically found in the means small kids, and as they grow, these temporary teeth fallen down and permanent teeth take place. So with the help of teeth, we chew the food. When food is chewed properly, so now the function of tongue starts. Tongue is basically a muscular fleshy organ which is found inside the mouth. There are so many uses of, or there are so many work of tongue, but basically it helps in the swallowing of the food, speaking and mixing of saliva with the food. So tongue also helps in the digestion process indirectly. Now when food is there in the mouth, from the salivary gland, saliva secretes and it completely mixed with the food, and the digestion of human food starts from the mouth itself. Basically carbohydrate digestion starts from mouth only. Now this food now go to the food pipes or esophagus. This food pipe or esophagus, actually it is a connective link between mouth and stomach. Here no digestion process take place. Actually here one peristalsis movement is there. Because of this movement, food solid slowly and slowly move toward the stomach. Actually the digestion of food in the massive scale starts in stomach. The moment food enters into stomach is the U-tube sac-like structure. It is situated just below the food pipe or esophagus. Now the moment food enters into stomach, now three liquids are secreted. First one is the hydrochloric acid, second one is the digestive juice, third one is the mucus. Mucus actually protect the inner lining of stomach. Now this hydrochloric acid which is secreted by the stomach, it makes the medium acidic. Not only make the medium acidic, it kills the bacteria which enters into our body through food. Digestive juices help in the digestion of carbohydrate and proteins. Now means partially digested food now enters into small intestine. Small intestine is a very important alimentary canal part. Here absorption of food takes place with the help of villi. Villi is basically finger-like structure, finger-like projection or outgrowth which is found inner walls of the small intestine. They increase the surface area of small intestine so that the absorption of food take place properly. Actually, inside the villi there are small blood vessels, and once the food is absorbed, those foods get absorbed to the blood, and through blood they will circulate to all over the body wherever it is required. So the circulation of nutrients with the blood is known as assimilation, and it is takes place with the help of blood vessels. Now food from small intestine to large intestine, now food enters. In large intestine, basically no digestion of food take place. Here from undigested food, whatever water is present, water will absorb it. Water will absorb it. So in large intestine, absorption of water take place. Now undigested food now released through the anus. Released through the anus. This process is known as egestion. So egestion is nothing but a removal or release of undigested food through anus. That is known as egestion. In large intestine, there is one part that is known as rectum. All undigested food get stored there only, and when the storage of undigested food increase, then we feel the egestion, and now this food, undigested food, released through anus.